This is so crazy. Hello, Clutter-Free family. I started a live and you guys didn't have sound, and I kept going with Instagram, and I didn't realize until right now that you didn't have sound. So I restarted the live. Apologies, and Instagram will have the full Clarity Hotline as it stands right now, but we're just being looped into the Instagram right now, into the Instagram feed. So it's going to have some redundancies. So apologies to everyone. Thanks for being good sports with me on that. Because where was I? I mean, I was already talking about so many things, how heavy it is right now, and the heaviness that we're feeling, because it is an Earth moon right now, which tends to feel a lot like wanting the need to ground down and venture to slowing down. But yeah, for sure, slowing down. But anyway, you're like, no, your body's wanting that. And I'm not only sick and needing to slow down, but I also recognize the time of year is the holidays, and you want to slow down. You want to be more mindful about what you're putting your time and attention on, because it's so precious, right? This is core memory making moments right now, history in the making. And you want to be present. And I think there's a lot of pressure to kind of maintain the momentum that you started at the top of the year as far as completing your goals, and then getting to the end of the year and maybe still not having those goals crossed off. It feels like a lot of pressure. And I'm speaking from experience, because that's how I feel. And I was also going on, before I realized that YouTube didn't have sound, is that I know this sounds worse than it is, guys. I am short of breath, but I'm gonna be okay. Anyway, now I lost my train of thought. But what I was saying before I realized that YouTube didn't have sound is that each area of our life has a to-do list, because we are leveling up in our life. We are filling our time with progression, accomplishment, tangible results. Like we're wanting those things, right? And so we go after those things. And a lot of it, the most important one, is how you feel inside, right? How you feel in yourself. Now I'm wondering if YouTube, if this is even on. Anyway, I don't even know. Instagram's on, guys. That's how crazy today is. What's the crazy irony of this is, I don't have a voice to be doing this over and over again. So when I'm recognizing that the sound is off, it's like, oh, I can't. I know I'm being positioned to take myself less seriously, and I am here for it. I'm here for it, because that is the road to enlightenment. It's just not being so complicit to the ways of the world, right? Of the flesh, of the ego. And I'm recognizing that, because I'm not going to delete anything that went live. And I don't even know that Instagram is even live. It's kind of frozen. And then YouTube, I had to start you over. So we're just going with it, because this is the work. And anyway, so what I was saying is, we feel really heavy at the end of the year, that there's so much to do, right? And another year ending is a sign that, oh man, you still didn't get this done. And depending on how important those things are on that list, your to-do list, determines, like how much pressure you feel right now. Can I still do it? What will it take? Who would be able to get this done? And that's how you simplify things. It's not always what can I do, but it's who else can help. Who can help? Or who can I pay? Who can I partner with? Who can I ask? Anyway, it's not always all on you. But these are the kind of things, like these are the scenarios when you get to this high pressured place in your life at any given moment, on any given day of the week, you are at choice to simplify and really come to terms with, okay, it's important, but is it urgent? It's important, but is it going to compromise something else that's more important? It's important, but does it have to get done this year? It's important, but am I actually on track for that? and I can have the universe help me more in manifesting that. That is a sign of enlightenment, because you're recognizing that it's not just you, it's who. Universe is also part of that team, who's on your team to help you bring about the change you wish to see in the world, right? You have to be the change because you have to embody the energy of having what you want. So I talked about Dr. Joe Dispenza and how I've kind of been on a rabbit hole with quantum theory. And I've been on this journey for years now, but it's now finally starting to click. And I don't know if it's because Dr. Joe is saying it in a way that I can get it, or it just in my life, I'm ready for it. And I think both. Honestly, I think both, because he's evolving and I'm hearing his message differently. And then I'm evolving and I'm hearing it differently. And it's applying in a different way and in a more urgent way. Anyway, to say that it's now clicking for me, and I'm seeing the road that I'm on, the journey that I'm on. And I just want to like bring it to you guys and help you do it too, because I realize the error of my past ways in why I may have held myself up for things. But the reality is I get everything I want. Everything I want. I always get it. And I know that, but I'm just shortening the gap. You get everything you want. When you put out an intention, and remember, this is the difference between a to-do list and like an action list. You have to set the intention and take the time to have that click in your brain, that little switch of perspective, that switch of chemistry, to say that, okay, this is my focus. This is getting done with or without me, right? The universe working on my behalf, but this is getting done. And I think that's why it's so good to have goals at the top of the year. I know people don't like resolutions and things like that, but you just are trying to give yourself a runway, right? With some type of like deadline for yourself, just to cognitively clock it, that I'm living my life to the best and my fullest and my highest potential. Every single day, I'm doing what I can to get there, and I will get there. And so I trust myself to get there. Anyway, that's why you kind of use this runway of a year, right? But it also feels pressure at the end of the 2025 year. Somebody's at my front door and I just have to ignore him. It's all good. So, is it FedEx? Yeah, sorry guys, I can't get to that. But anyway, this probably won't be that long, this call. Yeah, I can't get to the door. He's still there. We didn't even breathe, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's breathe. I'll get back to the importance of intention and goal setting. Okay. Should I go out there and tell him that I'm busy? Yeah, okay. Let me do that. Just you guys hang out. Yeah, they called me tonight. I guess thank you. We have made it, okay? We have made it when you can leave a live call and answer your door and feel like, you know what? We're just going to deal with it. Like that is success. Only because I remember seeing somebody else do that, and I like had a lot of respect for her. This was years ago. She had to answer a package, and we're just like all cool on the call. It was a Zoom call. We're just all cool waiting. It's all good. It is all good. Anyway, so okay. So much to now talk about, now that I'm tripling on the diversions to the tangents. I'm tripling down on them. And where do I even get back to? We are going to get back to the intentions and the goal setting. But I was going to just comment on this. So we're in an earth moon, and we didn't ground. That's what we didn't do. We didn't breathe. So big breath in, big breath out. And let the shoulders drop. You're doing a lot. You're doing okay. Okay? We're getting through this together. This holiday season is as magical as you want it to be. Okay? You don't have to change the world. Just do what you can. Do what you can. And ultimately leave the energy better. The energy in the room better, more peaceful, more grateful. I would say that would be what you can do easily. But I will say the crystal that I have today to ground us is a black obsidian. And I have this one because it's a very grounding stone. And on an earth moon like it is right now, when everything feels really heavy, you might feel like you're carried away with the wind and the momentum of things, and not settling in and being present with what your body and your brain and who you are, your soul needs right now from you, where to put your attention and your intention and your time. Anyway, this stone is overall healing, like overall health healing. At least that's how I see it. Like, if you're healing my health, you've got to be healing my mind too. So this is good for healing. And so I'm going to say holistic healing, but it's also like the truth stone. Like, it just brings truth out, which is very an earthly thing, right? An earthly thing is to get real with the flesh and the soul and the spirit, and unite the two in truth. So that's how I see the truth stone. But I actually just recently got this stone because the person, I was at a crystal shop, and the doctor that was there recommended that I get this stone for like my overall health. He was intuitively seeing some stuff, but he also uses like this mechanism and this kinesthetic activity that he does to say like, oh, you have something going on. And I think honestly, we're always going to read like something's going on, because unless we are full, like just clear-headed and calm and peaceful and conscious, fully conscious and present and aware, like we're always going to have something like just kind of cycling through our brains and telling us, some story of lack that we have to encounter and face and meet with and say, I don't believe this story anymore. It's just like we're just still shedding that skin until we're not. Anyway, so I kind of feel like my thing right now, since my dad died of cancer, my thing is cancer. Like, cancer is just in my brain. I keep thinking like I have to fix my diet because I don't want cancer. And that is like not how I want to live my life. I want to live healthy, but I want to come to it on my own terms, not as some external fear, like some external threat. I want to come at it from a place of power and knowing that I can affect change in my own life. I'm causing an effect, not waiting for the cause and me to be affected. And that's something I learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is also something that another tangent I was telling you guys about, the rabbit hole I'm on with quantum theory and how it's clicking for me now, because I think I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the information. And it ties into Pia's question, is manifestation a sign of enlightenment? Because I think it is, because when you're in manifestation, you're trying to manifest a reality for yourself. And you're doing the work of manifesting as you see it applicable and appropriate. You are in a state of intention. You are consciously pulling to your mind and to like your body, right? Your brains are agreeing with your body that this is important. We're going to go after that. and we're going to pull the resource. We're like a magnet, draw the resources to us. That's kind of what manifestation requires us at the start of manifesting, right? Get a clear picture in your mind of what you want, the energy associated with it, and, see yourself having it, right? And hopefully see yourself having it now. Why wait? That's the key to enlightenment. Now, manifestation is easier the more enlightened you are, right? The less clutter in your way, the less burden on your day. I just wanted to rhyme. The less held back by these limiting thoughts and beliefs, this scarcity mindset. I mean, you name it, right? That's all layered in your personality. It's all layered in who you identify as from years before you can even remember. We talked about last week how we don't remember things up to for the first 3 years of life. Some people say they do, though. They remember like at being 2 years old or whatever. They might have it a little bit twisted and they're thinking they're 2 and maybe they were actually 3 or 4. Anyway, that's been proven that we don't remember things. I mean, it's been scientifically proven, but I don't know how much that could be true. But all that to say that there's layers even in that time frame where you don't have a conscious recollection of something happening to you where you either have big T or little t trauma now for it. But we very well do and have and are having traumatic relapses, residual effects from any trauma, anything that as a baby we didn't understand, right? We couldn't reconcile, that took us away from mommy, our safe place. That's a little bit of a trauma, and so it's like, well, you can't keep the baby attached to the mom forever, right? The mom still has to move around and live her life. So there's some forced trauma there for mother and child, but it doesn't mean there's a way around it. And so if there's no way around it, is it good or bad? It's neither. It just is, right? But that's the truth. Like, the truth of life is there is no way around what is currently here and now and what you've manifested to date. There's no way around it. It is what it is. Now, from this place of awareness and reconnaissance of who you are as you're just being met with different challenges, me as a mother, me as a business owner, me as a wife, me as a daughter, me as now a daughter of a deceased father, me as a sibling to the rest of, who have a deceased father, and how that relationship is. I mean, we're traversing so many different planes, so many different aspects of ourselves that we're met with the lack, the scarcity, the fear on all different levels. And the more enlightened we are, means that all those different things, all those different ways of tripping us up or holding us back, getting in our own way, are less powerful, right? They're not as powerful against our knowing the truth, which is I'm abundant, I'm powerful, I'm divine in flesh, right? I have the power within me to create my own reality. When you know that to be true, then nothing stands in your way. It's only when we're met with kind of these challenges that we're not ready for, we're not used to, we haven't practiced, we haven't mentally rehearsed our way through these things. But that is the point. And so on an earth moon, like now, we're in an earth moon. This is a time to ground and slow down and assess the situation. And I mean, use those maternal instincts, which are really good for rooting down into everything you know. Everything you know is applicable right now. Like, just like we have these maternal instincts for these babies that we don't know how to care for. It's not like we take any level of class good enough, even child development, good enough to prepare us to be a mother. Nothing will ever prepare anyone for being a mother like being a mother does. So we are always we always need to use our instincts, and our instincts are because, we've imprinted on this baby. We gave birth to this baby. We're spending the time to bond with this baby and understand the cries and the fidgets and what it means and the smile. And when they look in our eyes, the connection that we feel to their soul's mission on this earth and how we are fully backing it every step of the way, no matter what. Like we can't, it's physically impossible not to back these babies when you have a mother-child bond. Anyway, we have to use our instincts. And so in any moment when you're manifesting something for yourself, so let's talk about 2026, manifesting our goals. Have you sat down and looked at what you want to be different next year than what it is right now? That's a great way to start with your goals, with resolutions for the next year. It's like, this is the time. Use these earth moons for this right here, okay? Especially before you start the year, get clear on the year. You plan, right? Get some level. Planning isn't only like, oh, I need to have XYZ done. Planning is also getting energetically attuned to the reality you want to create. And that is sitting with it, breathing through it. What do I want? What was this year like? Let me reflect. Let me journal. Let me think literally January, February, March. Think back. What happened? Look at your planner or your diary if you're in the UK. Look at that and see what you did. Look at your calendar and see what was going on, whose birthday. Look at pictures. Go through your photo album and go all the way to the start of 2025. What did you do? What did you feel? And then you want to carry the good feelings over and deposit them into 2026. Oh, I can't wait for more of that. That's going to be so exciting to do that again. Oh, we're definitely doing that again. Write it down. List for 2026, right? And then you start to go through and you're going to be met with some things that were just challenging, tough. I don't want to go see my parent on his deathbed again. However, I am grateful for the time I had. Some people are surprised. And in fact, this year alone, I've had a few people, friends of mine, lose their parent suddenly. And I'm so blessed that I had time with my dad. But I don't want next year to be, racked with cancer diagnoses and hospital visits. But what I am grateful for is that I had time with him, and how can I use my time to spend more of it with the people that I love? For instance, right? We're just drilling in. Taking the time is important. We can't bulldoze through life and expect it to bend at our will. Like a flower doesn't respond to a bulldozer. A building will. So you got the bulldozing days, and then you've also got like the gardening days to spruce up the land and till the soil and plant the seeds and harvest, right? Watch it grow. Water it. So there's you can't go fully masculine in on life and expect the feminine to still rise, right? Which is your maternal instincts, which is your gut instincts in general, your attachment to your spirit, your connection to yourself, your inner knowing, your inner child, even, right? As you parent another person, your inner child gets to speak too. Like, hey, this really impacted me. Let's try to do differently for this child of ours, this lineage, because unless we were made, unless we did spend that time to become aware of things that maybe hurt our inner child and our inner child still moving through, then we really won't be able to impact the next generation in the ways that gets rid of that trash, right? And it's not only like preventing the experience, but really a lot of instilling the mindset in our kids that, hey, you can do hard things. You are powerful, and you got this, right? And then letting them know, when I faced this challenge when I was your age, this is what I thought, and this is how I got through it. And now, sitting on the other side of that, I'm able to have a light heart and laugh about it, because I know it wasn't the end of the world or whatever. And that's talking to a teenager, for instance. But anyway, that's how you bond, right? Two people share their story, not just one. You don't bond when just one person is known to the duo. Both people have to be known, have to show up and be fully themselves, and for anyone to know anybody. And so that's why you want to be honest with your kids, let them know what you're going through, that they're not alone. Hey, I went through that too. Those little things, like, you think it's cliche and maybe overdone because it's on sitcoms, but like, hearing your parent tell you, well, this happened to me and this is how I did it. What would you like? Does that help? Or what do you want to do? What does your gut say to do in this moment right now? How are you feeling? Right. And it's not just telling your story, it's also connecting on what's their story currently in the moment. How do they see it playing out? And then walk them through, like, I made that choice and here I am today sitting on the other side of it. And I can say this in hindsight, recollecting on the situation. I have some insight into, like, if you did it that way, I could see it working out or being really difficult. It's probably going to always be difficult, but just walking them through it. There's so much presence that is required from us as parents as we're raising these kids, especially. And this goes to last week's conversation about Erica Komisar talking about how we need to be there for our kids 0 to 3. Mothers need to be there for their kids 0 to 3. And it's just so important, right? That everything else just kind of really take a back seat apart from you building the bond with your baby in those first 3 years. That's her stance. Well, this kind of lends itself to that. It's not just those 3 years, right? We still have to stay present and in step with our kids. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and that's for you to decide if that's work you want to do. Sometimes we're too tired. Sometimes we're just like, they'll figure it out. I did. And whether that be your wound talking or your truth talking, most times they're one and the same until we spend some time healing the wound if it hurts. That's the sign of what needs healing. Is it's painful, it hurts, it takes us to our knees thinking about it. So there's stuff there to kind of work through on your own. You're not just parenting, you're also like reparenting yourself. And you're still doing life, you're still in a relationship, you're still a person, you're like, that has goals and ambitions. You're still a career you're working. So there's that too. All these dynamics that put a lot of pressure at the end of the year to make something happen that just feels like, oh man, we knocked this year out of the park. Well, you probably did. Maybe you did back in February. Maybe you did back in July. You just are now thinking it all has to happen in December. Well, just recall the year, spend some time, and then think about what you want next year to feel like. And then you're going to easily come up with goals that, for me, are SMART goals. Not SMART goals as you hear it, specific, measurable, whatever, achievable. I forgot what that is. But anyway, not SMART, but they're SMART goals because I like the word. They're SMART goals, meaning that they've got energy to back them into happening. You've got to put the energy. That's the wind at your back. That's what makes things feel effortless, is if you've locked in on having something and there's no one to tell you otherwise or say anything that tells you different, that signals to your body that you won't have this, then you're going to have it. But it takes that level of energy, right? That investment of energy, that investment of time, that investment of money and resources, right? Because if you think something's going to happen, you're going to put your full effort into it. You're going to put your time, money, energy, resources. You're going to tell people about it. You are going to rehearse it, right? Say your goals every day and remind yourself, this is my goal this year. This is my goal. Everything's going to be weighed against it, right? So if I have one opportunity come up, if it's really going to derail this big goal for me, that I really want to happen this year, then I probably would say no, right? It makes clear those hell yeses and those hell nos. Not to say that this goal can't morph, right? And engulf this new opportunity into it, and possibly even push that goal out of this year from happening. But is this opportunity in that same path, right? It's like, oh man, more the merrier. I'll take it all because I don't know what I don't know. And so along the way to my vision, my dreams come true, I might be met with things that like feel really exceptional and incredible. And I'm going to say, okay, yes, let's do it. This sounds fun. I'm excited. It gets me, it doesn't derail me from other very important priorities in my life. I've checked in with my family. We can do this, you know. I mean, there's so many like little checkpoints that you have to say, but not to say that your goals at the start of the year won't look different by the end of the year. I think I changed my goals. Honestly, I'll write them out before the new year starts, and I'll have my vision board parties, and we'll put together a vision board. And mine are based on the goals I'd already kind of fleshed out and done this work with on creating some clarity around. And then I'll do the vision board. And then I want to say, like, sometimes it changes pretty quickly. Like, it'll change February, March-ish into something different because maybe I'm seeing like, oh, it's not really coming in. It's not really coming easily to me, or something's got to change. It doesn't feel doable anymore for me. And so that you take your energy out of it. So you've got to rewrite it fast, because you can't just keep wasting your mental space on something that doesn't fit into your life. And that's what having a goal that really doesn't resonate does to you. And anyway, I'm starting to lose it, so I should probably wrap this up. And I don't have any more hot tea, just cold tea. So I'll wrap it up. But anyway, I want to leave you with this so that you can do this, since it's a great day to do this and work through your goals on this Earth moon. It's telling you that I changed my goals. So anyway, like February, March, I'll just like, tweak it a little bit. Maybe I'll add a number, or I'll add some quality or characteristic that makes it, or remove something. Honestly, make it simpler. Make it speak to more possibility that is beyond my knowing right now is also something that I could do. But anyway, and then I'll change it around July. So those typically change my goals. That's not to say anyone gets removed. Sometimes they're checked off, like I did them by the middle of the year, which is incredible, that feeling. And I don't necessarily write a new one, but sometimes I do. I maybe write the next step of that. Like, okay, good. I got up to that rung of the ladder. Now I'm ready for the next step. And maybe I'll like up the ante a little bit on that goal in the middle of the year, and then just kind of carry it through. But anyway, your goals will change. Your resolutions will change. But things, people say that, oh, people give up on their resolutions by the end of January, February. And it is true, because I think they're not doing the work they're just kind of like looking at their to-do list and saying, I am, going to make this happen. And a lot of times resolutions are more about what you're getting rid of in your life, and what you're resolute on building. It's not necessarily going to be your goals, if that makes sense. So your resolutions can feel a little bit lighter, but your goals get really actionable, and your goals create your action list. Remember, we've got our to-do list and our action list, one that we've spent time saying, I'm going to do to start to affect this change. Maybe even meditating in the morning is part of that goal. Meditating, right, is part of manifestation. And meditation means to know thyself. And so if that's enlightenment, like knowing yourself, right, on all levels. Okay, I'm getting gross. I'm grossing myself out talking while I have to cough my lungs out. But anyway, I don't know, P, I hope that answered your question. Thank you for it. I knew I would only get through one question, but there was such a meaty one. If you can, rewatch this hotline and listen to how to do your goals. At least start with it. And if you have any follow-up questions, let me know, clarityhotline.com. If you have any follow-up questions for like setting up your 2026, your new year, with some like really actionable, like momentum, like good juicy goals that just get you fired up and ready to do anything, go above and beyond to make happen. Those are the kind of goals you want to start the year with. So try that. And I will see you next week. And then I think we'll probably be offline with the Clarity Hotline for the last 2 weeks, or I guess the first week of January, the first Thursday of January, and then Christmas Day. So those are both Thursdays, which I don't know, maybe I'll go on New Year's Day, but I don't, if I fill the pool, I will. But we could just kind of mark that as a vacation day along with Christmas Day and enjoy your holiday. But I will see you next week. As of right now, I know that to be true, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for coming on. Peace. All right. Peace, YouTube. Thanks for bearing with the tech.